Rifle-Musket. This is a British weapon. Both North and South imported this weapon in great numbers. It's widely used both sides. Well, in 1861, this weapon right here is state-of-the-art infantry technology. This is kind of like the M16, M4 of its day. Well, you ask yourself, this doesn't look like state-of-the-art. This looks like an antique. Well, in 1861, this is state-of-the-art. And what makes it state-of-the-art is in the name, rifle. And rifling a grooves that are cut into this barrel all the way from the breech to the muzzle, it's going to shoot much farther, much more accurately than the older weapons. And for just a moment, I want to talk about the older weapons. I want to go back to the Revolutionary War, War of 1812, even the Mexican War in the 1840s. The weapons are going to look very similar to this. There will be some subtle differences. And one of the biggest differences is going to be most of these weapons are going to be smoothbore. And by smoothbore, well, there's no rifling, no grooves. It's no more than just a straight pipe going down. Now, a smoothbore musket is going to shoot a projectile that looks like this, right here. This happens to be a 69 caliber round ball. And I'm going to pass it around if I take a look at it. And as you look at it, it is nothing but a clumsy looking round ball, just like the name says. Well, soldiers would sometimes say when they would load these weapons, they could hear the ball clanking going down the barrel. Well, if it clanks going down, what's it going to do when you fire it? It's going to clank coming out. It might go off to the right, to the left, and if you're lucky, it may even go straight. Not a very accurate weapon. And the effective range of a smoothbore musket is going to be about 50 to 100 yards. That's about the best you're going to get. Well, if you have a weapon very limited range and accuracy, well, how do you fight a battle? What do you have to do? You've got to get close. And lots of soldiers, mass volleys of fire. And soldiers are going to be trained to get close. They're going to line up elbow to elbow in long lines, 2 ranks deep. And by a rank, you have in the front rank, about this far behind me, you'll have another rank of soldiers. They're going to march across open ground. And when they get close enough, they're going to use another weapon that every infantryman soldier even carries today. Does anybody know what this is called? The bayonet. Also nicknamed the cold steel. Now imagine seeing thousands of these coming right at you. You think that might be a little intimidating, a little scary? A lot of soldiers break and run just at the sight of this. And a bayonet charge is going to be something that will be terrifying. Imagine a wall of steel, soldiers 2 ranks deep. Front rank would have the bayonet out like this. Rear rank would have the bayonets up like this. Now why would the rear rank want to put the bayonets up like this? So you don't stab them. Now, how many of you have ever seen a Civil War movie? It even shows on the History Channel. It shows soldiers in a bayonet charge running wildly across the field. Would you want to run one of those? And neither did they. They're going to come at you in that battle line. It's going to be a wall of steel. And this bayonet, in these early wars, will be a primary weapon. It's a weapon of intimidation. So let's get back to 1861. I've got this Enfield, this Rifle-Musket. Now this weapon right here does not shoot that clumsy looking round ball. It's designed to shoot a projectile that looks like this. This is the British version of the mini ball. And it gets its name from a French captain, Claude Minet. He designed this projectile. Well, what he did is perfect it. If you look at this projectile, you'll see a cavity here. This cavity is going to be the key. As you look at the cavity. Rifles have been around for a long time. Rifles are not new technology. They've been around since 1400. The only problem is they're not battlefield effective. They're too slow to load. The bullet's the same diameter as the caliber of the weapon. So it's too slow to load, not near as fast as those smoothbore muskets. And the more you shoot this, the dirtier the weapon gets. So after a while, it's going to be really difficult to load these old rifles. But as you look at that cavity, well, you will load that projectile. It'll go down kind of easy. And when you fire it, the explosion from the black powder will expand that cavity. And when it expands, it's going to hug the rifle. It's going to start to twist. Now, we ask a question. What would you rather throw 50 yards? A basketball or a football? Football. When you throw a football properly, what are you going through the air? It spins, it spirals. That's what what that mini ball is designed to do in this Rifle-Musket. It's a lot more accurate. And in fact, in the hands of a well-trained infantry soldier, this weapon right here has an effective range of 500 yards. Well, that's a lot farther than 50 to 100. Do you need to get as close now to your enemy as you once did? No. See, here's the problem. Soldiers are still lining up elbow to elbow in long lines. They're still marching across open ground like their grandfathers had done during the Revolution. What's going to happen to a lot of these soldiers? A lot of them won't get across. Casualty rates are going to skyrocket because of weapons like this. Some examples. How many of you have ever been to Fredericksburg, Marion's Heights? Gettysburg, Pickett's Charge. In Tennessee, the Battle of Franklin. And around here, a little bit closer, Cold Harbor. All these battles have one thing in common. They're going to be failed infantry charges. Men are going to die by the thousands and die quickly because of weapons like this. You got the Rangers right together. At America's bloodiest day, Battle of Antietam or Sharpsburg, over 20,000 casualties in one day. That's a lot of folks. In Gettysburg, in 3 days, there were over 50,000 casualties. That's a lot of people. Now, why would soldiers still line up and fight this way? They know what's coming. Why would they still do it? Yes, sir? Well, it's hard to pick out one person if you're all together. That's a good point. But why would they do it then? Yes, sir?
It's an issue of command and control.
Command and control. A nice tactic line and battle line can be controlled easy. Rank and file soldiers are not supposed to be, well, not a lot of initiative. The officers are supposed to have the initiative. And both officers, both North and South, are trained in Napoleonic tactics. Now, Napoleon was a military genius. He wrote the book on infantry tactics 50 years before the Civil War. His tactics are being studied throughout Europe and America. There is only one problem with his tactics.